Right, afternoon. Now, back to doing my coffee and cards on a Saturday morning. But wasn't entirely happy with the card selection. Well, entirely happy or not enjoying the card selection, probably the wrong way to put it. What it is these are supposed to be cards for the week, and basically they're kind of miserable. Oops, watch it, she's dropping everything. Here we go, normal. While everything throws itself off my desk. So maybe that's me being told not to look at them in a negative way. So I'm not going to look at them as they came out. I think sometimes sometimes you can use the wrong deck. Okay, and you'll get part of the reading, but you won't get all of it from one deck. So let's just get a little bit more. Oh, nice bit of smoke. Yeah, there we go. So what I wanted to do was, I'm going to use the Roots and Wings deck to get more clarity on what this is saying for the week. I think sometimes when you get cards that you don't understand, use another deck that may provide answers as to what's going on. So what I'm going to do is, in the meantime, let's see if we can just get these. Just going to put the ones that we had at the back. There we go. We'll pull these and see. I'm just going to give it a bit of smoke. So we want some clarity on the cards from this morning and what they mean in for us. Okay, do that. Hopefully we'll get this done pretty quick. So we'll give another little circle. Right, which cards do we need? Okay, we're cutting them down pretty quick. So the thing with this is that it will hopefully give us more of a look. And I think the best way to put it, it might give us more terminology rather than just the few words that it does give on there. Don't get me wrong, I love the Citadel deck. But on this occasion, on its own, it hasn't worked. So let's see, what did the cards this morning want to really tell us? Oh, here we go. So I'm going to split these down again. For those that have watched previously, you know that I'm an astrology novice, I'll be honest with you, but I am doing the work and I'm trying to pick up on aspects that are going on right now. So we've come out of an eclipse. This week has been quite a difficult lineup between Mars and Pluto. So for those that don't know, Mars is was the god of war. It's masculine energy. It's kind of the fighter element. So it can bring a lot of discourse. And Pluto, being the god of the underworld, obviously they can bring up the two energies together. So okay, so we're getting down. We might have our cards. I have found it challenging this week. This was my first week back after nearly 2 weeks off. Let's just put it this way: you realise how much people appreciate you when you return. There wasn't much appreciation. Right, is this the reading we need? Okay, is there an order? Yes, no. Okay, anchor card. Okay. Okay, is that the outcome? Okay. So, follow-up cards. So, we'll run through these ones again. Pathless, Gambler, Herald, Sleepless. Okay, so this is what came out this morning. Okay, so we had the Herald, Small Regrets and Longing. So, you know, well, let's just discuss this. The Herald, Small Regrets, Longing. It could be like the hair on the card. We've rushed into something far too quick. We didn't see the vipers underneath. Maybe it's that we are wishing that we could go back to easier, less argumentative and negative times. Then there's the Sleeper. Oh, there we go. Sleeper. Oh, getting a little bit of light off there. Don't know where that's coming from. Right, so the Sleeper card. The card says cause and effect and clarity. So, again, what it is that with the Herald being the hare that's just jumped into the viper's nest, maybe this is where it's saying, well, by jumping in, that's the effect you've caused, and that you now need to see the clarity of the situation. The Pathless. I mean, they're amazing cards. I love the symbology on these. So again, difficult decisions, lack of direction. I don't think we can argue with that at the moment. We've jumped in, we've stirred up the viper's nest, and now we don't know how to get out of it. There definitely is a lack of direction in this world, and in a lot of people's aspects of their lives. And as it said, there may be difficult decisions that we have to make. Right. And then the last one was the Gambler. So it was loss, risks. So realistically, have we jumped into something where we're going to have to cut our losses and run? Was the risk too great? And that's what I wanted to clarify. So that's what we originally got. Okay, so let's have a look and see what this is saying. Here we go again. Okay, let's just try it. You can just read what you get. Adventure. So the first two cards are the anchor cards, and what they are really the overlying energy of the reading. And then the last card will always be, or well, the outcome, or better to put it, what we can possibly gain if we follow this. So the first card's adventure. Embrace adventure and accept the uncertainties in life. Yeah, okay. Well, if that's what you're saying, kind of saying, right, okay, well, you were the hare, you jumped into it, you landed in the viper's nest. You're certainly going to have an adventure getting out of this one. So the next card, I think this is where we're getting our guidance, enlightenment. Gain deep understanding and insight, opening the door to new wisdom. So what I would say there is, again, going back to the Herald, the card with the hair on it, obviously we've now put in ourselves where we're going to have to go somewhere we've never gone before. An adventure is doing something that may be scary and unknown. And I think what this is saying is that because of what's now happened, we're at a point where we're now going to see a whole new perspective to the situation. And maybe, if we trust in what we've been given, we may well find a better way of looking at things. And again, in terms of wisdom, in regards to the other 4 cards, it's fairly possible that the wisdom we're getting is we've made a huge mistake. We need to take a step back. And we need to look at things from a different aspect. Okay? Now, if we entrust in the adventure and the enlightenment, what the outcome could be is intuition. So trust your inner guidance and make confident decisions. So again, what this is saying to me is, as I said, the cards that came out this morning, they're indicating that some kind of mistakes happened. Or, let's put it this way, nothing on your life path is a mistake. It's a lesson. So if we look at that as one of the not so nice lessons, that we take what has happened, we look at it from a different perspective, we use a sense of adventure that will gain some enlightenment and understanding, and possibly the words, don't do it again. And then that way, our intuition will be heightened because we have learnt, so that if it comes up again, we understand that these choices are probably not the ones that we need if we want to move forward in a happier way of being. So that is what I'm going to go with from that. So possibly this week, as again with the 4 cards, take a step back before you do the hair move. So before you jump, see if you can look forward, see what the pitfalls will be. Because if you go into the vipers, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get your loss, you're going to have to make difficult decisions, you're going to have cause and effect, and I think the clarity is going to be that probably wasn't the best move going. So yeah, you might have the chance to go on an adventure, but make sure you've got a certain level of respect and understanding as to where you're going and what the pitfalls could be. That the journey itself will bring some new wisdom to you, and at the end of it, it's going to help develop your intuition so that possibly next time you're going to be more in tuned and trust your gut as to whether or not the move coming up is going to work. The other thing that I would say is that we don't always have the chance to avoid the viper's nest. Sometimes we have to go into it. Life isn't all about positivity. But when we come across a situation that is not how we envisioned, sometimes it opens up new paths and puts us onto a different perspective so that we know where we really need to go. Hang in there, we'll see what happens. And if anyone wants any advice, just a rough guidance reading, leave me a message. I'm always happy to just pull out cards and read. Okay, thank you.